Resurgent India Knowledge Series presents live webinar on unlocking financing options for MSMEs. Moderator Mr. K. Gupta, Director, Resurgent India Limited. Eminent speakers Mr. Ravi Bed, CFA, DGM, Central Bank of India. Mr. Vinay Goyal, MD CEO, IOV Registered Valuers Foundation, IOVRVF. CA Chetan Jagetia, Director, JJ IPO Advisors Private Limited.
Good evening, friends. I am your host again, K. Gupta. I'm a director in Research in India. You're knowing that Research in India is a merchant banker, investment banker, and we are conducting technical, economical viability for almost for all the banks, besides preparing the draft project reports. Friend, this webinar is very important webinar because you more than 200 webinars under this series of Research in India, an association for financial advisor. We have already done it. And this SME sector, what we're talking about the SME, are most important role to play in the development of the economy. Either you talk about the GDP, which is about 30% of the GDP, and you talk about the employment, and you talk about the export. In every aspect, it's play important role. Although more than 90% people are in micro sector and they live in the rural places. So there is a problem for meeting the finance. As per study taken by the Asian Development Bank, there is huge gap, credit gap, in meeting the SME sector or a trade finance. Although the definition of the SME sector undergoes change, where up to 50 crore investment in plant and machinery, that to a depreciated value, and annual turnover of 250 crore rupees, it can be categorized as a small scale industries or a SME sector. So for a traders also, it is considered if they are coming under the eligibility points, what we have mentioned, it can be classified as SME sector. In recent budget, union budget, if you have seen that, they are taking the 100 crore guarantee cover is also available to the SME sector who are in manufacturing. If you want to have a equipment financing, there is no need for the collateral security. Even up to 5 crore loan, banks should not insist for any collateral security because it is being covered under the credit guarantee trust for small borrowers accounts. Besides that, there are so many schemes where the capital incentive schemes are available, where the interest remission schemes are available, and so many other facilities are available. So we have conducted so many webinars under the series of Research in India and Association for the Financial Advisor of India. Now with the request for so many members, now I think in this webinar, more than 750 registration we have already received beside the electronic medias. So subject is important because we are also discussing what are the other options available with the SME sector beside the traditional finance for the banking sector. No wonder union budget, because SME, when we are discussing, it was find out that there are difficulty in submission of the financial statement to the banking sector. So banking their own assessment method one, two, three. What are the other Naik committee or Chore committee or something like that? They are assessing the limits. Now the union budget say very clearly to the people, to the bankers, let you should have their own assessment based on the digital footprint. because all the information now available, why the technology has so much developed, even artificial intelligence has come in a very fast way.
Mm.
You can find out anything from the banking system. From a GST return, you can have the sale figure or the purchase figures. Or if you are an exporter from the custom duty, you can find out so many information. Even by mean of the account statement, you can find out so many information from the party. So that system has already been developed. So union government, union budget also envisaged that banks should have their own assessment model so that our SME sector should not face any problem for the financial. Now we are going to discuss in detail what are the other options available with them. And major options without any interest, without any liability, that is IPO. You can come into IPO. And I am telling you what is the IPO has come so far for the SME sector. 100% success rate is there. And you see the valuation of their share has double, triple, or even at 10 times or 50 times. So we have expert with us, Mr. Chaitanya, who will tell you how you have eligibility, how you can come into IPOs. Then we are also a valuer who will tell you how to enterprise valuation can be done and how you can have a valuation of your enterprises. I think this is also important aspect which you're going to talk to him. So now, first of all, I'm requesting the expert banker, Mr. Ravi Bath. He's a Deputy General Manager, Central Bank of India. He's BTech Information Technology. He's MBA Finance, IT Delhi. He's CIB, stood first. He's CFA, so intelligent professional people. I think I request Mr. Bath, please let us know what are the other options available with our SME sector beside the traditional banking. You are heading the main branch of the bank, corporate finance branch of Delhi.
Mm.
So just tell what are the bank facility.
So,
You are giving them term loan, you are giving them the working capital limits, you are giving them the bank guarantee, you are giving them the letter of credit, all the traditionals. And first of all, we just want to know the union budget. This they
so
have informed that you should have your own assessment instead of asking from the SME sector how you react as a banker and what are the other options available with the SME sector to approach and get the finance. So I request Mr. Ravi, please give your
yeah,
thought. Mr. Ravi,
thank you, Gupta sir, and good afternoon, all the participants. And thank you, Resurgent, for inviting me for to speak on such a eminent topic. This is a very relevant topic at this juncture of growth. So I'll just categorize my speech in three parts. Basically, I'll give you a SME landscape, then I'll tell you about the financing options which are available in the market, and then last few suggestions to SMEs to improve their visibility and the valuation. So SME, as you all know, is the backbone of the Indian economy. MSME sector basically has emerged as a very highly vibrant and energetic sector of our economy. So manufacturing almost contributes about 17 to 18% of the GDP as of now. And if India has to grow to $30 trillion by 2047, as emphasized by our PM, manufacturing has to grow 15 times. Our GDP is now 3.5 to $4 trillion. And if it has to grow to 30 trillion 9 times, manufacturing sector has to grow by 15 times. And wherein SME plays a very, very important role. And currently, say SME, including services and all, contributes around 30% to our GDP. Uh, out of SME manufacturing, 40% of SME contributes to exports. So all this has been envisaged to go higher by 2030. So we want to go to 60% contribution to exports by SME by 2030. We want to go. We want contribution of SME to 50% of GDP by 2030. How do we do that? So holistic approach in SME growth has to happen across all the categories, may it be agri processing, may it be manufacturing, even services, and the definition of and government has also done a lot of things regarding that. Uh, some changes in the definition has come in 2020 regarding MSMED definition. Therein they defined micro enterprises as 1 crore plant and equipment investment and turnover of 5 crore, up to 5 crore. They categorize as micro enterprises. For small enterprises, it is investment in plant and machinery up to 10 CR and turnover up to 50 CR. And they categorize as small enterprises, and medium enterprises is 50 up to 50 CR investment in plant and machinery or equipment and up to 250 crore turnover. Out of this, again, export turnover is not counted. So if somebody is exporting, so they can exclude that turnover and get uh, registered as SME and get the benefits of SME. But still, despite government has launched Mudra scheme, PMAGP, a lot of other CGTMSE, lot of things they have done. Despite that, we find there is a gap in the huge funding gap in this sector. So as per one estimate, around 15 to 20 lakh crore gap is there in this sector and has a huge potential for funding, has a huge potential for growth. So, government has also announced a fund, that is called self-reliant fund, because as we know that SMEs were having debt option and equity option, they were finding it difficult to get equity also. So they introduced this fund. This is 50,000 crore fund. So far, I think capital of around 5,000 crore have been deployed towards this fund. So in this fund, around 10,000 crores will be provided by government, and another 40,000 will other PEs and VCs. So this, but why this was launched? Because VC ecosystem, they will provide fund for early stage funding, but they will not provide very few VCs are there which who provides fund for growth. So so this was launched, and slowly over the time for past 10 years, this sector has grown many-fold, and a lot of financing options have emerged in the market. So options which are available right now are like VC, PE, AIF, banks, private credit. So so basically SMEs have both equity option and debt option, and bridging the gap is the private credit. So basically, this is the broad contour. I'll tell you individually what how they can be availed by this. So last if you see last 10 years, because I have seen SMEs growing. I have financed so many SMEs, and I have seen SME becoming very big using these financing options at different point in time. They use different financing options at different point in time. So, so now I'll start with this say private credit, because private credit has grown almost as per RBI report. It has grown almost 4 times in last 10 years. So maybe through AIFs. So how does private financing come into picture? Because they give flexibility to the SME companies in terms of tenure, in terms of pricing. Despite higher rate of interest, they give flexibility, and they can be structured. Ballooning payments may be offered. So a lot of flexibility is there as far as private credit is concerned. And promoters are also these days finding it very convenient to go for it instead of diluting their equity to the PE, because for private equity there are a lot of restrictions, board seats, equity dilution, urgent equity dilutions are required. So this is again one option which can be used So 2 days back, if you have gone through a Mint article where they are save equity and dilute it after getting after scaling up. That was a broad thing. That message was there that you should save equity. So now, so this was a private credit, and a lot of credit has happened, and SMEs have grown, and after that they have diluted their stake. Another option is bank credit. Now, bank credit has also changed over time because a lot of changes have taken. We have also taken feedback from the field, what is required for the SME sector, and many banks have developed their product, specific product, and to cater to these needs. So, Central Bank of India has also developed very well w- uh, very technologically enabled high-end world-class product for to cater to SME sector. And we have designed product for different sectors, for different sectors of the economy to cater to different needs of the business people. So I'll just jot down, I'll just name a few schemes which we are having now, which borrowers can avail and get the benefits. So we have a send GST scheme that is based on only turnover of GST turnover of last year's. So that is for traders, for manufacturers, and they can avail it. And also CGTMSE without collateral also facility is available. We have product for CA, CS, CMA. We have sent CA. If somebody wants to set up office or so, they can use this facility, and interest rates are also very attractive. It starts with 8.5%. We have sent Sanjeevani, that is for healthcare sector. We have sent textile, that is for textile sector. We have sent business, wherein we give term loan and OD to business people at very attractive rates. Also, ESG compliant industry, we give benefits rate of different varieties like concession in rate of interest. We have product for hotel industry, sent hotel. We have product for uh, invest for transformation like for renewable energy. This may be called ESG compliant product. We have a product for recycling, sent MSME spice. So likewise, this industry has developed many products which caters to the banking sector. So, so it's good that through this forum, at least SME borrowers are knowing the products, what is available and in the market, and the benefits. So now out of this SME sector, now exports also is a very big area. So out of the total manufacturing exports, 40% is been contributed by SME sector. So so as far as this sector is concerned, for export financing also our bank has done a lot of things. They have a centralized processing sale which enables the exporters convenience and ease of doing business. So these were debt financing, and debt financing is normally used to be at higher rates, but normally now rates are very attractive. So anybody can avail rates, and it's not method one, two, or three. We have designed specific product based on turnover, based on their salary slip. Also, they are getting, and all these come under SME sector. So so I talked about uh, private financing, which is I talked about debt financing. Now the equity financing part. So that will be taken care. Just I'll give you a glimpse of what maybe our next speakers know much about that. So I have seen SME because we have financed so many SME. SME very at 50 crore valuation or 30 crore valuation. Now they have reached 3,000 crore, 4,000 crore valuation. So idea is that SME, they can unlock their value after scaling up, both operating leverage and financial leverage. If they are going good, they can use financial leverage to grow, to scale up. and then realize their potential in the market. So few SMEs like, even if you see Oriana Power, I was just having a look, because more will be discussed. It is 7,000 crore company. So it's not a small company. You can't call it a. It started with an SME. So many are there in installation in Oriana Power. So many are there. Now again VC mode, venture capital mode is also there. VC debt funding is there. VC debt funding is there. VC equity funding is also there. So that is one mode. So in VC equity funding, what the investors pull out and they fund the SME in growth, initial seed capital, or even sometimes growth capital. So this was the contour of the financing. Now few suggestions, whosoever they are hearing this, that whenever any financer comes to you, whether equity, debt, private equity, private credit, anyone coming to, or VC, so 4 5 things are common broad things that should be highlighted upon. So number one being your corporate governance. So right from the beginning, my suggestion would be to inch up your corporate governance. A second thing they look at is MIS. How well you are managing your MIS, because once you can measure things, you can show it, project it to the world that what you are. You may be having good potential, but projection is also important. Third is transparency, and fourth is innovation. Here specifically to the sectors which I have seen, to uh, uh, the SMEs who are into exports, they are they are investing their time in managing currency risk. I would suggest them, you hedge all your risk, hedge your exchange risk. Don't waste your time in managing currency, because currency will not give you money. You can make peanuts, despite having so much of effort. You will not gain, because that is not in your control. So better you focus, invest all your energy in business and innovation. That will bring you results. Because once, and try to this is Sajan, because I have seen so many SME entire year juggling with the currency, trying to manage currency and earning peanut. Instead, if they use that in other, they can build brand. So so and fourth thing I would suggest, that try to make a brand. Because brand, if once you are a brand, it's not brand for India, it's brand for the world. So that is, and that will give you a leveraging power, that will give you a higher valuation over time. So so that's all from my side, Gupta ji.
Thank you, Raviji. Thank you, Raviji. I think you have touched very nicely how the Central Bank of India is helping the SME. And you also tell ESG, where you are providing finance and green energy. I think innovation is also required for the SME sector.
In fact, sir, Central
Because
Bank of India, sorry to interrupt, has developed a specific product, sent MSME gift, that is for renewable thing. Only renewable, if you are renewable energy or anything, renewable building, green building, specific products are there.
very nice, very nice. Central bank is playing very important role for the renewable energy, what you're talking about, and the ESG. And we are also talking about the GST. If you are a GST paying, so bank is
Yes.
also providing you the facility for that. And you also mentioned about the innovation and the brand image. Brand image is important aspect for the export. If you have a brand image, definitely you have a confidence among the importer, buyer. And if you have a brand, definitely you are getting the benefit for the other concession available in the industries. And ease of doing business you are also mentioning. Beside that, there are so many options available with our SME sector. Whether you talk about the Nexen fund or you talk about the venture capital, PE funds, you're talking about the angel investors, factoring, peer-to-peer lending. Above all, sir, you also mentioned about the Atmanirbhar Bharat because it is dream of our country, our honorable Prime Minister, that we should have the third largest economy in the world and a developed country by 2047. So they have introduced so many other schemes. There were 50,000 crore rupees equity infusion for SME sector through fund of funds. That is also introduced, where you can have fund of funds with a corpus of 10,000 crore rupees is also available with the setup, already set up. Beside that, there is a mother fund, there is daughter fund. Fund structure will also help our SME sector of rupees 50,000 crore rupees of fund to daughter funds, what we are talking about. There are many summer capital subsidies also available with you in your interest remissions. If you are taking loan from the banking sector, you can have the interest remissions up to 3%. I think they have extended the period of 1 month period. You can still be hopeful it will be continued for the interest remissions. Besides what we are mentioning in my opening remarks, the banker is also going ahead with their own assessment model based on the digital footprint and 100 crores coverage for the manufacturing sector. If you are a manufacturing sector, 100 crore coverage under the credit guarantee scheme, which is available up to 5 crore at present, where you cannot insist. And I also mentioned, Ravi, without any collateral security, you can have 5 crore rupees from the banking sector. I think these are the major aspects Mr. Ravi has covered. Now, what you are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are talking about the 50,000 infusion, equity infusion for SME sector. Now I am coming to Mr. Chetan, who is expert. Chetan sir.
Yes, sir.
Chetan sir, you are welcome, sir. You are welcome. I think it is your floor now because you are a professional chartered accountant, distinguished
Yes.
chartered accountant, qualified 2016, making one of the youngest chartered accountants in Ahmedabad of his batch to pass the examination at the age of 21. Congratulations, sir, for a such excellent your performance. I think major aspect what we are going to talk to IPOs, initial public offer. Because a fund of funds, as you mentioned, that 50,000 crore rupees is kept aside by the government. And equity is a major aspect for anything. When we are talking about the balance sheet aspect, we talk about the net worth of the part. Net worth constitutes of the capital. Once you have a capital, you need not to pay any interest. That is your own.
Own equity.
To the public, your own, not pay to interest. No worry for that, no worry for repayment. Everything is available with you and you can dispose of. And it grow like anything. What I find out last 5, 6 years, 100% subscription is there. And so many growth under the, you can say, capital market for the NSC. So I will not take much time, Mr. Jitan. Let I know what is the eligibility criteria. How by IPO, how my SME sector can go to the IPO.
Okay.
What type of help he required and how you can help him to come into IPOs. So Chetan, please give your thoughts.
Yes. Thank you, Gupta sir, and thank you, Resurgent India, for giving an opportunity to be a part of panel discussion on this MSME financing. So, one of the major aspect that most of the SMEs are looking in the current phase is the SME IPO, how they can raise funds via public source uh, without raising any debt and just diluting the equity and getting the money from the public for the growth capital. So, before speaking on the SME IPO, I would just like to throw a bit light on how did it started initially. What was the mindset behind starting the SME exchange? So in 2010, the Prime Minister Task Force established one committee, and committee came out with a conclusion that MSMEs should have an alternate source of funding apart from getting the bank loan and investing their own funds. They should have an alternate source of funding, and they should have the access to the capital market, because the criteria for main board IPOs were stringent at the time. They are stringent now also. So in 2012, the BSE was the first exchange to launch the SME exchange, and in 2014, NSE followed it. Till now, more than 800 to 900 companies are listed on the SME exchange combined, and more than 200 companies have migrated to main board exchange. So 2014 to 2018, we saw that there was no major traction coming for the SME companies, whichever got listed. I mean, they were not liked by the investors, but after 2018, we found that many SME companies gave an exponential return to the investors. So the investors found out that this sector should not be ignored, because while you were invested in MRF Tires or Reliance or Tata's in 1990 or 1980, they were the MSMEs of the time. And these big companies have reached to a saturation level, because their profits cannot be doubled in upcoming years. But SME companies are the companies where there was an exponential growth seen in terms of top line, in terms of bottom line as well. Also, what happened after 2017 demonetization and the GST was the most of the turnover which was not on the books of the company that got coming into the books of the company. So tax has so the tax paying was compulsory, and so MSMEs have to understand that now the tax is not an expense for them. If it has to be considered as an investment, then they have to tap the capital market, because in India, once you are paying the tax, you are getting benefit nowhere. You're not sitting in US or UK where you're getting the benefit of the tax that you're paying. But in India, if you want to take the benefit of the tax you're paying in the company, then SME IPO is the only option, because where you paid the tax, you show the profits, the valuation of the company gets increased. So currently, name all the big investors of India, maybe you name it, Ashish Kacholia, Madhusudan Kailash, Rishabh Katotia, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala family, all are invested in the SME companies in some or the other way. So the investor participation has increased. Big investors are coming in. There are so many AIFs which have been formed, which are ready to invest in the SME companies. So Ayush, if you can just open my presentation, so I will go through the criteria which are defined for the SME companies to get listed. Yes. So these are the major criteria. I have combined the basic criteria of NSE as well as BSE. So there has to be a company which has to be incorporated under the Companies Act. The post-issue paid-up capital of the company should not exceed 25 crore. It is the paid-up capital, right? Which should not increase 25 crore. If it is about 25 CR, then you are not eligible to go for SME IPO. The company should have a minimum track record of 3 years. Now you will ask whether it should be company only, or it can be a proprietorship concern or a partnership form. So yes, SME, NSE as well as BSE has provided a relaxation that if you are running a business in the proprietorship concern or a partnership firm, then also you are eligible to go public, provided you have a track record of at least 3 years. But that firms has to be converted into company. Yes, before going public. So the company should have a free cash flow to equity FCFE for at least 2 out of the last 3 financial years. The company should have operating profits positive in last 2 out of 3 financial years. So these are the basic criteria that I have combined. The company should have net tangible assets of more than 3 crores in the last recent full financial year. This is the criteria of BSE, not the NSE. Net worth must be 3 crore, and the leverage ratio should not exceed 3:1. So these are, and the company should not be referred to any winding up petition or the BIFR. So these are the basic criteria that a company should take care before going public. Ayush, if you can, yes. So these are the benefits available to the SME platform, to the companies which are about to list on the SME platform. So we say fundraising is one of the one of the benefit, but there are many other benefits which are attached to the fundraising, which are not visible as of now. But once you get listed, then it is visible to the company. So the primary benefit goes like the company will have the access to capital. They will raise the funds which they can use for expansion, investment in research or development. They can use to repay their debts. They can use for the working capital infusion in the company. They can use for the strategic acquisition of any other company, or they can monetize their stake also. So the other secondary benefits, what they are? So one is attracting the top talent. So a SME company cannot afford a high salaried employee. If they cannot if they want to afford a high salaried employee, they can once they are listed, they can issue an ESOP policy. Apart from that, the overall environment within the SME company changes, because now the confidence level of the employees is very great, because now they see the company is not a single driven person company, but it will run to perpetuity. It is a lifelong company. So the SME companies can get the currency for the future acquisition. So currently, if anyone is owning a private limited company, for them the share certificate is just a piece of paper. It does not carry any value. But once you are listed, it will be your currency, which you can use for future acquisitions, which you can use for joint ventures. Next slide, please. There are more than 27 lakh companies registered in India, but there are only 4 to 5,000 companies listed in India. And out of those 4 to 5,000 companies, only I can say like 3 to 4,000 companies are actively traded. So in this vast number, if you're listed, you are entering into the elite club of companies. So brand value of the company as well as the promoter goodwill increases. The financial strength increases. Now the psychological impact that you create once you're listed is immense, because you get a priority in your suppliers, in your customers. You get a preference. So this is how the brand value impacts. What we call is the value unlocking, brand unlocking. There are certain relaxations in terms of Income Tax Act or the Companies Act, which are available exclusively to the listed companies, such as GAR provisions, general anti-avoidance rules. So there are certain relaxations which are only for the listed companies. Boost the credit ratings of the company. So the credit rating, the banks give the credit rating, the credit rating agencies give the credit rating to the company. So one of the criteria for providing the credit rating is the corporate governance. So it is found that once a company is listed, the compliance level increases, and so the corporate governance also increases within the company. So we have seen that the rating agencies also improves the ratings of the company. Because of that, the negotiation power with the banks increases to lower down the interest rate. So the Indian government has also been providing, the other benefit is like the Indian government has also been providing the subsidy to the companies to get listed on the SME platform. And the subsidy amounts to rupees 30 lakh, but it differs from state to state. Like in Gujarat, I know it is up to rupees 5 lakh. So these are the benefits and the major thing that a company should look while going public. So the major areas of the execution. Once you start the procedure, there are 4 major areas of execution. One is the business due diligence. The business due diligence means we do the due diligence of the companies in terms of business. What are the peer companies? What is the future prospect of the company? What are the key strategies of the company? The second is the secretarial due diligence. So if you're into a company form, then you need to have all the ROC records clear and ready since the incorporation till date. And then the corporate actions of the company initiate, like you need to do the board restructuring, appoint the independent directors, company secretary, CFO. You need to convert the company from private limited to limited, from LLP to limited. The third is the financial due diligence. Financial due diligence means the SEBI has provided the restated financial format. So they want to have the parity that any company which is going public should have the similar set of financials. So the restated financials are compulsory to be given by the peer reviewed auditors for the last preceding 3 financial years. And the legal due diligence covers the legal aspect, litigation aspects of the companies, promoters, and the directors, where we need to disclose if there is any liability or any case which is pending against the promoters, directors, and the company. So this is so that's it, Ayushi. The other slides are not relevant for the SME.
Thank you, Mr. Chetan. I think you have covered very nicely brand value increase and the good value, even rating also improve. So bank is also insisting for a rating. And if rating is good, definitely you can have the facility and rate of interest also is going to effective. You also told the IPO benefited for the our SME sector. Major aspect is the net worth, tangible net worth, what you are talking about. 3 year existence, 2 year profit should be there. So what is the net worth for that? Can you explain for that? What is tangible net worth? What you mentioned about that? So what is the requirement? Whether it is required for a net tangible, what should be 3 crore or 5 crore rupees? What you mentioned here? Anything in that respect, Ms. Chetan? Have an idea on that net worth? Hello, Chetan. You're getting
Hello,
me?
sir.
You got
Sorry,
me?
I was not. So
I
can
was
you
just
repeat?
asking about the net worth, tangible net worth.
Yes,
Can
yes,
you
yes.
explain what is the requirement for that? What is required that at least 5 crore rupees there? What is net tangible? What should be there for SME sector to come into IPO?
So it is in like the asset base should be 3 crore of the company if it is into the manufacturing. So that is one of the requirement of the BSC exchange.
What is the NSE?
So that I have listed down already.
This
So I
is
covered
more
all
than
the
that.
basic.
You are talking about the net tangible worth. Assets is something different. Net tangible worth is something different. So we'll come back to this
Yes,
point.
yes,
I think this
yes.
is the most important aspect. If you want, you can check up and you can tell. Otherwise, we'll end, I will tell. Uh, so now I'm coming to Shri Vinay Goyal. Vinay Goyal, sir.
Namaskar, sir.
Welcome you, sir. Welcome you, sir. Sir, you are expert for the valuation aspect. What I've seen from you, Mr. Goyal, is already engaged with the regulatory bodies and minister bankers, financial organization. His effort focus on bridging communication gap between the valuer and the society, fostering the growth and development in the valuation field. Valuation, sir, is the most important aspect because when you are coming to IPO, everybody will see what is the valuation, how you valuation you are done for a company, and what is the percentage, what is your share value you are having. I think that is the most important aspect for any investor. When any investor investing in the IPO, they are saying the what is the enterprise value for that. So go and let us know because you have so much experience in the field of the valuations. And you are also a general secretary, Institution of Valuer, MDCO, IOB, registered valuer. So give your thoughts, Mr. regarding the valuation. What are the importance of the valuation? And why the IPO? Why the investor should consider the valuation aspect? Mr. Goyal.
Uh, First of all, thank you, Gupta ji, and I would, congratulate you for organizing this kind of an event where you have on one hand you have taken the that side and then IPO side, equity side, and you have balanced it with the valuation side. Mostly we are a forgotten community, but you have very well balanced this program by including the valuation fraternity, I would say. And uh, I was listening to Mr. Bad regarding the debt and what are the facilities the government is looking for the funds from the debts and continuity of funds to the SME sector. And then the IPO, of course, Mr. Chetan has very well explained how it is contributory to that. Um my view is that for MSMEs to remain active and underscore their crucial role in the economic life cycle. Valuation serves as a key tool in conducting financial health checks and track changes in financial performance, enabling MSMEs to balance their debt and equity needs while ensuring proper utilization of funds. Your question was like how this valuation of enterprise and how it can be done. So valuation, uh, there are various aspects in MSMEs credit and secure financing and supporting their overall development. And in this consistency of the performance of an MSME is also is vital. And to for that purpose, valuation can build or valuation can give one view within aspects with the in the process itself, like enhanced credit worthiness. An accurate valuation report strengthen MSME's credit worthiness, directly influencing the financial resources stakeholders are willing to provide. Then collateral assessment is, of course, a very much part of the valuation, which includes the determination of value of assets. Like we discussed about, Mr. Chetan discussed about the net worth. So how to evolve the net worth? I think it is net worth is largely based on its tangible and intangible assets and valuing those assets. And then the interest rates. Higher the value asset values from valuation may lead to lower interest rates, making loans more affordable for MSMEs. And then the due diligence. So valuation reports are crucial for MSMEs during the due diligence process, enhancing their financing prospects by providing well documented financial insights. So this we are talking about when we see the government's target and the union budget 2025 4 already you have explained in detail, but in nutshell, with an allocation of I think around rupees 22,000 crore, so in various forms. Now this has to be utilized, and the credibility of India, or credibility of the economic growth what we are talking about, make it taking it to many folds. Valuation has a very vital role. Now, we raising the equity capitals and attracting investors in a competitive market. Value strategies, which valuation, I would say that valuation should be the part of the strategy of MSME's performance. This thing, and in that the comparable company analysis, that is benchmarking the MSME's valuation against similar companies in the market to provide a realistic estimate. And then asset based valuation focus on the value of both, like earlier I said, both tangible and intangible assets, and offering a clear picture of MSME's worth. And then business model and growth potential, then this highlights the MSME's unique and scalable business model, which is crucial for attracting investors. And then the market position, demonstrating competitive advantages and solid market positioning to create investor confidence. Financial projections, it is the forecast, detailed forecast and sensitivity analysis. The discounted cash flow method projects future cash flows to emphasize long term value. So all these strategic strategies used in the valuation, valuation based on these strategies, may provide a very clear cut and picture of MSMEs. And the role of valuation to build investors confidence and in securing long term equity financing is, first and foremost, is the clarity and transparency, providing a clear and detailed picture of the MSME's worth financial health and growth potential, enabling investors to make informed decision. And then the risk assessment, identifying and quantifies risks, helping investors understand both the potential returns and associated risks of their investment. And credibility, a well supported valuation can enhance the MSME's credibility, building trust with investors. It offers comparative metrics and benchmarks against industry standards and highlighting that is market positioning and competitiveness. And then strategic planning aligning business strategies with investor expectations, demonstrating how the MSME plans to achieve growth and maximize returns. So these are the roles the valuation can play in your then. And ultimately, if we talk about the strategic assessment, which can help MSMEs to mitigate risks and optimize their capital structure for future growth. So, the risk identification, optimal capital structure, resource allocation, financial health monitoring, building investor confidence, securing analysis. These are all, these can be elaborated, but in a brief, I can say, like our Badji, Mr. Bad, discussed about the ESG. Now, as you, in so many fields you are involved, the resurgent, you must be aware that valuation depends upon factors impacting the valuation, and those factors can be negative and positive both. Their implications can be both. But very vital thing to now understand is the ESG, which is becoming very prominent. And as Mr. Bad has mentioned, and even Chetanji has also mentioned about the good corporate governance and all those aspects, these have definitive impact on valuation. Just to give an example, one particular MSMEs which is following all the norms or rules, as far as the compliance in environment and its social responsibilities and the good corporate governance or good governance, I think it is rated better. Its enterprise and its brand valuation increases, and its strength of assets as well increases, as compared to a particular MSME which is not following those on those lines. So, and but this, I would say that the valuation is, you can call it like a thermometer or a barometer. It can be a check tool for all these things. And in fact, valuer who who gives a very credible report based on facts, because valuation ultimately is based on facts, which is there, which is not imaginary or anything else. In valuation, you have to report back the facts, and on that basis the valuation is built up. So this itself is a tool which can give the credibility to the MSME for its any financial desires, I would say, or financial requirements to meet and mitigate that. So, in nutshell, I think I'm.
Thank you, Mr. Goel. Thank you, Mr. Goel. I think you have mentioned very rightly. Valuation is a barometer or a thermometer, which correctly judge the party, and what is the valuation should be there, and it is based on the facts. What you are mentioning, I think this is an important aspect because for any IPO of the SME sector, valuation will play very important role. So I think we try to cover what are the alternative source of funding and major aspect what we are talking, which is very important of IPOs. If you are coming to IPO, what is the eligibility with you? If you are 3 years in existence of a company, even a proprietor or a partnership company, so you can convert it to private and come into IPOs. So I think for that, we as a merchant banker, we can helpful to you in respect of the IPOs, even for a merchant banker for enterprise valuation like Mr. Goel and other values. Even the research in India, we are also doing for the assets valuation also and for the enterprise valuation also. We are also doing for that. So at the end, I just want a last word from advice, you can say, in a short, in a few words, from the eminent speaker to the our members who are listening to you. More than I think 700 people are there who is listening to your advice. So in a few words, please give your advice. I start with Mr. Ravi. So please,
Yeah,
if
so
you have any advice to our
yes, yes.
Mr. Ravi.
So yes, just my few words to SME is that they have huge potential. Don't dilute your potential at a valuation which is much cheaper than the market. Market realization you have seen in the IPO listing also. And most three, four most important thing you should keep in mind is the corporate governance. That is must. Good MIS, management information system, because your measurement of the whatever you are doing, manufacturing or doing services, measurement should be very good. Transparency, because investors are very concerned about the transparency. If systems are transparent, you will get double valuation than if you whatever. There are many and fourth is innovation. So anything, if you are innovative, your valuations may be you may get double, triple, multiples, whatever. So multiples have no role in that. You'll see that what they can get. So five times EV beta enterprise value, or 10 times, or even 15 times would be less. So it's all about, if you can focus on these four things, uh, you have the value. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Ravi. Chetan, any
Yes,
advice?
sir.
Any advice to
So
our?
I think Ravi bhai already covered all the advice as a part of investors. But if the professionals are also the attendees in this webinar, I would like to advise them that while you are evaluating IPOs for your clients, while you are investing, making your clients invest into the IPOs, then you need to check all the parameters, that the promoter should be genuine and the honesty should be there. The promoter should not be greedy for the valuations or anything, but and uh, and he should understand that while you are entering into the capital market, it is always has to be the company first. That company has to deliver the returns to the investors, and the investors will always come by your side whenever in the future you want to raise any fund via equity capital market. So this is the thing that every professional should take care while they're evaluating IPOs for the client, or they are working on any IPO or advising.
Thank you, Chetan. I'm coming to Mr. Goel. Vinay Goelji, please.
Yeah. Sir, what Mr. Bad has already explained and Mr. Chetan has also explained, my advice to the valuers, especially who are attending this, and of course the users of the valuation services. Firstly, the valuation service users have to understand the importance of the valuation and how it can help them grow, help them see how they grow. That is how it should be looked upon. And like Mr. Chetan has advised, my advice to our fraternity here of valuers, that the transparency and your credibility and fact finding and bringing the fact finding to the fore, and not depending upon the influence, what we call as an influence value, not to consider that, but the actual value it is going to be evolved. So competitiveness and trustworthiness is the most is the key word, and ethical practices in evaluating, those are the keywords for bringing to. Firstly, because if the valuation profession is credible, then the services offered or services provided to the MSMEs it gives credence to the MSMEs itself. Well, because it becomes dependable. The MSME's valuation report becomes dependable if they are using the dependable and trustworthy professionals to evaluate their MSME funds. So that is
Thank
my
you.
advice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Goyal. I think great advice you have given. I think that today webinar is a very important webinar. I think the participant who are listening to through these medias must be getting some benefit from the IPOs and what are the alternative option available to the SME sector. So we, as a financial advisor, Association for Financial Advisor of India, we have more than 500 members with us. We are mostly having such webinars every week. If any advice from your side for the participants for a specific webinar which you want, so please write to us so that we can do it. As a research in India, who is a merchant banker, investment banker, and preparing the DPRs, beside the technical economical viability study we are conducting. So if any help required from the research in India side, we are also thankful to them. We are also thankful to our off-screen, our staff members, Mr. Ayush Kumar, Mr. Ankar Singh, Lokesh, Devesh, Mr. Chaudhary, and others which are not seen in the screen. I think with their efforts, we are only a narrators. We're just telling what they are informing us or how they are arranging by putting their hard labor. We are really thankful to them. We are also thankful to our eminent speaker, Mr. Ravi Bed, Mr. Vinay Goyal, and Mr. Chetan, who has given the practical shape to this webinar, given the practical knowledge to them instead of bookish knowledge. I think our participant must we get benefit for this scheme. And above all, we are thankful to our participants who always oblige us, who always give us their feedback also. I'm requesting the participant of this webinar, please give your free and frank advice so that we can have a further improvement in such webinars or any suggestion from your side to conduct such webinar in a frequency which can be beneficial to our entrepreneurs. Even some bankers are also available in the system who are also guiding us, who are also participating in this webinar. Above all, we're thankful to everybody who are listening to this webinar, who are participating there, who have contributed to this webinar for that. With this, I close the session for that. Thank you very much for all
Thank
my
you.
people. Thank you. I'm really
Thank you.
obliged to everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Chetan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ravi ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.